Hey guys, it's Rabbit, and I hope you had a great holiday and an even better New Year, and hopefully you didn't catch COVID or anything else on New Year's Eve. Now, weapon modding is a topic that I feel like intimidates a lot of new players just by virtue of the enormous number of mods we have access to. But the reality is, and most long-term players will rightfully tell you, it's only a small subset of those mods that are going to end up occupying most of your arsenal's mod slots. So in order to ease the introduction of weapon modding, I've developed a system I'm calling the Ass Cheek system. So what good can Ass Cheek do for you? Let's dig in together. Each of the 8 letters in Ass Cheek stands for a word that tells you what to do with each of the 8 mod slots on any primary or secondary weapon. Those 8 words are accuracy, serration, split chamber, critical hit, 2 elemental mods, and customize. Let's briefly address each of the slots in Ass Cheek. The easiest to start with are the 2 S's, serration and split chamber, because that's just the name of the mods you're going to be putting in those slots 90% of the time. Serration is a big flat damage boost, and split chamber is a big damage boost via multi-shot. Keep in mind there are analogs for all of these mods for both shotguns and secondaries, so while I'm saying serration, for shotguns it would be point blank. The A for accuracy slot asks the question, do you care about the accuracy on this weapon? If you do not care about the accuracy on the weapon, because it's an RPG and has a large AoE range, or is like the Tonkor as a grenade launcher, then you use heavy caliber, because you don't need to land shots close to be effective. If you do care about your accuracy on this weapon, then for the sake of simplicity, you've got a few choices, but we're just going to say put vigilante armaments in there. Some other choices are things like hunter munitions, but all of those require a little more analysis of the weapon, and we're going to save that for a later video. The C and the H slots, the critical hit slots, go together. You ask the question, is this weapon a critical hit weapon? If it has a 15% or better chance to crit, then you have a critical weapon and you should use Point Strike and Vital Sense. If your weapon is not a crit weapon, then you ask, is it a status weapon? It's a status weapon if it has a better than 20% chance to inflict status. If that's the case, then you pick 2 mods that increase both the status chance and provide an element, like thermite rounds and high voltage. If the weapon is a hybrid weapon, meaning it is both a crit and status weapon, then you're generally going to side with crit for lower level missions and with status for higher level missions. Because in lower level missions you can simply overwhelm enemies with damage, and in the higher level ones you're going to need to do things like stripping armor with corrosive, infecting with viral, and bleeding enemies out with slash procs. If your weapon is neither crit nor status, then the odds are you're not going to be playing with that weapon for very long, so just put your 2 biggest elemental damage mods in those slots, and we're going to pretend like we're modding for crit. The 2 elemental slots also come as a pair. Right now, viral is the king of status effects, so you can't go wrong putting cryo rounds and infected clip in these slots, but if you feel compelled to use another status effect, don't feel confined. The last slot, the customized slot, is oriented towards quality of life. So if your weapon reloads slowly, something that drives me insane, you can fix it with a mod like Fast Hands. If your weapon was a hybrid weapon, you could put another hybrid mod in here to increase your status chance and damage even further. If you used heavy caliber earlier in the A slot, maybe this is where you want to put vigilante armaments. This customized slot allows you to fill in the weaknesses in your weapon, or further increase its damage, or just experiment with the way you want to change that weapon. Now of course, Ass Cheek is only a general modding strategy. There are many weapons that deviate from the norm enough, like the Kuva weapons for instance, that have implicit elemental modifiers, that they necessitate a more nuanced and complex strategy for modding, and we'll talk about those kind of things in future videos. But for right now, I hope that Ass Cheek has provided some clarity and insight into the world of Warframe modding. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in-game.